At the time, there were parties like the Northern People's Party, the Muslim Association Party, the Anglo Youth Association in the Volta region. The Anglons are a subgroup within one of the major tribes, the Ewe tribes in Ghana, and they also formed a party. And then there was also the National Liberation Movement, which also centered around the Ashanti region. The danger these tribal and political divisions posed to the unity of the country was considerable. Dr. Nkrumah, therefore, used legislation and due process to bring about the one-party state in Ghana in order to forestall division of the country along parochial ethnic interests. He then pursued policies aimed at the rapid industrialization of the country, which he believed was the surest way of guaranteeing the true independence of African states and reducing their dependence on colonial powers. Dr. Nkrumah was conscious of the need for developing the human resources of Ghana with the establishment of schools, teacher training colleges, as well as universities and institutions of higher learning. He pursued social policies that engendered access to education, health, shelter, food, water, and dignified income for the people. He also constructed the industrial city of Tema with a modern port, built major roads and highways, some of which have remained important landmarks of the country today, as a way of facilitating the development of the country. Nkrumah also built the Akosombo Dam for the production of hydroelectricity to support an integrated aluminum industry, as well as provide for the energy needs of the country and its neighbors. Nkrumah, however, faced challenges and opposition at home and abroad, especially among the Western powers, who found his ideas too radical for their liking and comfort. He was thus, with Western support, eventually overthrown in what is now acknowledged to be a Western-inspired coup d'etat in Ghana. Now, after Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana underwent a series of military coups and dictatorships and general political instability, with brief periods of multi-party democracy from 1969 to 1972 under Prime Minister Busia, and from 1979 to 1981 under President Liman. Flight Lieutenant John Rawlings took over the reins of government in a military coup in 1981. And when he came on the scene, he banned political parties and ruled without a constitution for over a decade. However, after a nationwide referendum and the approval of a new constitution in 1992, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings was compelled to contest the presidency. He won in 1992 and 1996, serving the maximum 2 4-year terms that ended in the year 2000. He was succeeded by John Ajekum Kufuor, who also served 2 terms as well until the year 2009, when the current president, Professor Atta Mills, took office. Since 1993, Ghana has practiced a multi-party democratic system of governance, underpinned by a liberal free market economic system that encourages the development of the private sector. Ghana's efforts in this direction in recent times have been likened to her pioneering role in the African liberation struggle when she set the pace for other African countries to follow. The country has, over the past 2 decades, provided a good example of how multi-party democracy could function in Africa, just as it does in other parts of the world. Of course, there are a few other African countries which also practice democracies, which are strong democracies, which deserve as much attention as is given to the undemocratic ones by the world media, especially the Western media. Ghanaians have developed a wonderful understanding of the workings of the multi-party system in a manner that has compelled the politician to take the ordinary voter seriously. There is, for instance, an interesting phenomenon that the voters call skirt and blouse voting. What this means is that a voter would vote for a parliamentary candidate, but not necessarily his presidential candidate, and vice versa. The Ghanaian voter thus not only knows how to vote, but he also knows how to accept the results of elections, whether or not these are in his favor. This was amply demonstrated in the presidential elections held in December year 2008. The current ruling party, the National Democratic Congress, which was done in opposition, won the elections by 50.23% votes as against 49.77% votes of the ruling party at the time, the New Patriotic Party. Similar close elections were also held in the year 2000, in which the results favored the NPP against the NDC. One would imagine that the results of such close elections in favor of opposition parties would easily have been manipulated, even in advanced democracies. The media in Ghana is described as being amongst the most vibrant in Africa. The Constitution guarantees the freedom of the press, the independence of the media, and prohibits censorship. The Ghanaian press, therefore, enjoys sufficient freedom to publish and air dissenting views, and is also alive to its responsibilities. Now, after operating the current Constitution for about 20 years, certain inadequacies were observed by the general populace, who have been very persistent in their call for amendments. The government, in response, has therefore set up a Constitutional Review Commission, which is in the process of collating views for the purpose of reviewing the Constitution. The mandate of this commission is to, among others, ascertain the views of Ghanaians on the operations of the Constitution, articulate their concerns as regards any possible amendments, and make appropriate recommendations to government on the issue. The Commission in executing its mandate is consulting a cross-section of Ghanaians, both locally and abroad. The consultation process is far advanced, and it is expected that the exercise will result in a sound constitution which reflects the collective will and contribution of Ghanaians. Our constitution provides for a presidential system of government with a separation of powers amongst the executive, the legislature, and judiciary. It has, however, been realized that there are some overlaps that need to be redressed. For instance, the majority of ministers must be appointed from Parliament, even though we describe the system as presidential. This provision in the Constitution has compromised some of the requirement for a strict separation of powers between the various arms of government. There is an ongoing debate with regard to certain limits on the number of ministers that the President may appoint, as well as the number of ministries that may operate in the country. Furthermore, there are also strong views being expressed on the need to place limits on the administrative functions of the Chief Justice, that's the head of the judiciary, so as to enhance efficiency and deepen the checks and balances in the Constitution. While the political conditions in Ghana are laudable, the links between these and the economic fortunes of the country also offer opportunities and challenges. The economy of Ghana has, over the years, made positive progress as a result of policy reforms, which have improved macroeconomic performance and created an environment conducive to reducing the cost of doing business in the country, as well as improving the well-being of the general population. Currently, our population is about 24 million. Ghana is well endowed with natural resources. Known for its gold production since colonial times, it remains one of the top gold producers in the world and the second largest producer of cocoa. Its other exports include timber, bauxite, diamond, manganese, as well as the supply of energy from the Akosombo hydroelectric dam to neighboring countries. Tourism has also become a major source of the country's foreign exchange in recent years.